All right. Uh, John, well, I appreciate you jumping on today for our Odyssey meeting. The purpose of today's meeting is we left our last meeting, we were doing some estimating, and I want to finish up the last of today, showing you some additional things we can do in the realm of estimating. And then we'll move into our next meeting. We'll pick back up on the next one and move into jobs. So that's kind of the next couple meetings here. We'll finish up estimating, then we'll show you how to get these jobs moved through, and then we'll start moving into some invoicing, the fun stuff. So,
Okay.
all right. With that being said, John, is there anything from the last meeting or anything, any questions you have or anything like that since we last met that you maybe want to bring up at the top of the meeting?
Nope.
Awesome. All righty. Well, I'm gonna share my screen with you, sir, and then we're gonna dive in. I'm gonna drive for a little bit here and show you some features. So give me 1 second. Hey, John, can you see okay?
Yep.
Awesome. So, in our previous meeting, what we discussed was we went through and we made some estimates, right? And you got to drive a little bit there and go through here and create an estimate and see how they work and see how they live and function and a couple ways there. But I also wanted to talk about, and those were for things that, people may be calling you or emailing you. But one thing I would like to talk about is using the order forms on the website to possibly have a buyer let you know about some custom information and how that would come across to you for the estimate. So what I want to do, sir, is I'm going to start over here on the Copy Express order forms. And
Okay.
I see here that we have a custom printing right there. Just labeled right here as custom printing. And I actually have that already pulled up here to view, right? So this is the order form. I'm a buyer. I'm on your website here, and I know I've got something that's custom printing, so I've got to do some things with it here to put in width and height, et cetera, to fill all this in. Now, my question to you, John, is this your preferred method? Do you like it when buyers do it this way? Is this kind of something that you've seen a lot of when it comes to requesting estimates?
Yeah.
Okay. And normally when these come in, are these usually large format items, or are they more in the smaller realm, digital? Kind of walk me through a
It's
normal day with
more
these.
smaller stuff. It's usually people wanting really small stuff.
Oh, okay, cool. So it kind of just it stays in the digital realm for the most part.
Yep.
All right, cool. So with that being said, I'm going to just because remember Odyssey, we feed Odyssey all its information based off these order forms. So I'm going to just pause real quick before we really dive into it and kind of just let you take a look at all the questions and maybe we can make any changes to it or anything like that. So I'm gonna pause under dimensions and color options. I'm pretty confident those are going to stay the same, but just let you take a look at them, John.
Yeah. The color options is fine.
Okay. And then, of course, with paper, we do want to have a lot of options, right? Due to the fact that it's a custom. So we do have it broken down in text weight, cover weight, and then you got the other here. Is that okay as
Yep.
far as perfect? And then, of course, we got folds there. Do we want to maybe increase the folds or use the other here just to make up for any? If I said, hey, I need a I don't know, origami or something, I guess I could use the other, right?
No, that's fine.
Okay. All right. And then hole drilling, special services. All this is just looking good for you.
Yep.
Okay. Do you do all this in house, John? Just a quick question. All the special services.
All that stuff up there, except for what was raised lettering,
Okay.
is the only one I don't do.
Okay. Cool. And would you send that? Do you want us to leave it on there? Maybe you'd outsource it if it came across.
Um, yeah, I probably want to take it off.
Okay. Let's do that real quick. So I'm gonna jump over here and let's get to these custom printing. Let's edit. And go to questions and answers. We're going to scroll down a little bit here till we get the special services. We're going to edit it, and we don't want raised lettering, so I'm going to delete that. Okay, and we'll go ahead and save it. Now the buyers don't have a choice for it. Perfect. All right, so that one's there, and I'm going to refresh this, and we'll see it here. All right. So raised letters is gone. How does shrink wrapping, numbering, and aqueous look?
That's fine.
Perfect. All right. Okay. And then turn on thumbs. Okay. So perfect. So now what I want to do is now that we've got this order form here, I want to show you a couple items we can do for Odyssey and really kind of make this kind of hum along. And the first thing I'm going to show you is I'm going to be the role of an employee for you. So I'm actually I can make the order, I can make this request while on the phone with somebody through this order form. So other than, you can get it coming in from a client, or you can get it coming in internal, excuse me, and they can assign it to a client as well. And I'll show you that. So I'll go through here. Let's see, what's something small. I don't know. I'll just say 4
Let's
by
just
6.
go. I've got a customer doing a 3.5 by 3.5.
Okay. All righty. Do full color front and back on that.
Yep.
All right. What are you thinking on the paper here?
It is. I think it's actually not the paper that's there. It's a 16
Okay.
point. So just go with the 120 matte
Okay.
cover.
Gotcha.
Just pretty close.
All right. Can I ask you a question, John? Your 80-pound mat text, are you still offering? Do you still offer that for stuff, or is that getting to where it's getting kind of hard to get?
Nope, I'm able to get it.
Okay. No, I had 3 other onboardings that I've been doing alongside you, just saying they're just 80-pound mat text is impossible for them to get. All right. So
I
all
just
right.
substitute Dole text. It's the same as the mat. So
Gotcha. What about the on the fold? You want to go with no fold on this? Or is there any kind of okay?
May have fold on something that small.
Yeah. All righty. And then I'll leave this. We're going to
rounded corners.
Okay. There we go. All right, and that came through. Any kind of shrink wrapping or anything here?
Nope.
All right. Aqueous?
It's actually UV coated.
Okay.
We don't do aqueous.
Okay. So then we can change this right here. Now, I can change this answer to a UV coating if you'd like to do that. Okay.
We need to do that.
All right, let's go over here. And what we want to do is I'm going to ask a new question, and we're going to go radio button here. And we're going to put UV. You want to go UV coating like this, or do you want to have any other way you want that worded?
That's fine.
Okay. Now, are you doing like front, back, and spot? Is that how you would?
No spot on this. We're just doing front and back.
Okay. Front. And then, well, I got to put it in a question form. So would it be good if I put front, back, and then front and back, or just front and then front and back?
No, front, back, and then front and back.
Gotcha. Front and back. All right. I will create the question here. And then we don't want to other on it. There they are. Let's save it. I am going to move it up to where aqueous is. I'm going to delete aqueous. Now, do you want it required?
What's that? No, it doesn't. You
yeah.
mean an
okay.
answer? No, I just want to be able to select it.
Okay. All right. Did I hit save? Okay. Sorry. All righty. So then we got that there. Let's go back to the order form, and I'm going to refresh this. We'll probably have to put the order back in. That's okay though. All right, UV from. Okay, there it is. Okay, so let me put the order back in. 3.5 by 3.5, front and back, full color, and we're going to do the 120-pound mat, and we want a no fold. We're going to round the corners, and just no, we're not doing. Where you want to put a UV on this?
Yeah, front and back.
Okay. Gotcha. And then I'm gonna call this test for Odyssey. I'm not going to attach a file. Now we're going to request an estimate here. All right. So as a client, I've just reached out to you and requested an estimate, just like that. All right. So I went in and got you set up that way. All right. So I've requested estimate. Now, if we go over here to Odyssey, we can see here the estimate came in right here. Now, it doesn't put my name in, John, because I'm a super admin. If I put in an order like, manually I can, but if I come in through the website, it's kind of wonky that way. But it would have the company and the name here as well. And then, of course, the custom printing. All right. So that's all there. Perfect. And then what we would have here is just like with the other estimates, we can go in here and build a workflow. So we can go right here and click that build a workflow.
Okay.
Oh, no. Give me 1 second here. And there's your email. I'm wondering. I thought they already updated the server, John. Give me 1 second here. We'll try this one more time. I know they were updating to put a new update out, and I thought they finished that this morning. Let me click on one we already did real quick. Okay. John, let me make a quick note of that. I'm not gonna that's there, and we would go in there and just assign like we did with this guy right here. So it's something we can do. I'm gonna make a note to show the team that, and I bet you it's tied to that update they're pushing out today. They're putting out a massive update to add some more functionality to Odyssey, in the realm of large format printing. So I think that may be what's going on there, John. So I apologize. If you notice that in this workflow right here, or how we had in that custom printing that had the width and inch there and all that. I know they're working with some stuff tied to that for the large format printing, and because we're using custom and we're doing a custom workflow, I bet it thinks it's doing something. So I apologize on that. I'll find out what's going on there. But just like with this right here, once we click that button, we would assign the resources to that particular workflow, and we would come here, and we can actually build that out that way. So we can actually get it going. So that's what's really neat about it. And then the next thing I would like to show you. Well, before I do that, any questions on that coming through from your buyer like that with that information? I'll top of the next meeting. I'll continue that particular workflow we just did there. But as far as that goes, does that make sense, John? As far as your buyer's going and filling that out, and then it comes across the Odyssey for us to assign the resources.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So then I'm going to take we're going to do one more, but this next one I'm going to do it on my website, because if you like it, I'm going to get it turned on for your website. Okay. So let me show you this part right here. I'm going to jump onto Direct Pass for a second. And I'm going to go into my control center and grab a quick order form. And where's my custom printing? Here we go. Now, just like yours, it is almost similar in a lot of ways, right? So I can go in here and I can put 3.5 by 3.5, and then we can go in and we can say, okay, I want to do full color. Let's see, 120. That's all there. That's all there. Around the corners, we'll do something like that. Doop doop doop. None. All right, I'm gonna call this test for Odyssey. Now, what I can do, if I was an employee of Copy Express, I could start typing out the customer I'm doing this on behalf of. So the whole thing there is that we can have one that the customers can do, and then one that your team can do on behalf of a customer. So if I start typing in something here, what's her name? Anna Cruz. Well, now I can make this order on behalf of Anna. Anna gets the order, Anna gets the email, Anna gets everything. So it'll allow you to have that ability. Once it's done, it'll then move into Odyssey as that job, just like with this right here for Anna. So if that's something you want to add, I wanted to show you that real quick, John, and I can have tech support put that on there, and that way you can have what we call a guided custom order form, as well as a public custom order form.
Okay.
So yeah, so do you want me to add that to your order forms as well?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And yeah, and then what that'll do is it'll also allow your team more control over the questions. So for example, if someone said, "Oh, yeah, let me get, that 20 pound with a UV coating on," you'd be like, "Sir, uncoated papers with UV," and you can maybe guide that to, I hate to say more profitable, but at least, a better decision for the buyers, right? Or I shouldn't say, hate to say more profitable there, right? Like some papers are a little bit more profitable and they still do an excellent job, right? So it'll give you that opportunity to have that there. Okay. So then if we go back to Odyssey, then when those come in, they'll come in just like these estimates here, and they'll live in the requested estimate. So they'll just be living in here, just like we saw with the one I'm getting the error on. So right here. Yep. And anything here, and remember, that has these orange on them, those are our ones that we can actually build a workflow path for. Okay. So what I want to do, though, is I would like to put in one more estimate on your site while we're together here on something a little different, and give you a quick idea on a different, what's the word? Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to do another one. Let's do this right here. So let's open up this this order right here, the 200 brochures. You and I did this together on the 25th. And let's say that I finally got back to you and I accepted. Okay. Now I can't go through here and accept this estimate on my behalf, right? So this is what's going to happen when I do. I'm going to click on this, and it's going to tell me, Chris, you get it. It's going to give me an error. It's going to say, super admin can't approve estimates. They don't want me messing with your company. So what I would like to do is I would like to approve this job. I'm gonna get you to share your screen with me, approve this, and then I'm gonna show you what happens at the end of the estimation process here of how we move it into a live job and how we go from there. If that's okay with you, John.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna let you share. Remember, sharing the entire screen works a little bit better with 8x8 versus application window. You'd think it'd be the other way around, but no. I can see.
Okay.
Yep. And just bring up Odyssey for me. Oh, you can go through the control center. Yeah. I just throw. I've been.
I've always just done it this way.
Yeah.
I jump at gun and save the.
Give me 1 second here, John. All right. So sorry about that. I had a message come through. Yeah. All right. Yeah. It'll be the same as the website. Yep. All right. And then let's go into that estimates up at the top there. You see where it says print shop jobs estimates on the nav bar? Yep. There you go. And then be requested. Yeah. Click that. There he goes. And then on that 200 one right there that says, Chris Wall, me, and it has the ODY brochures there. If you will click the blue workflow path for me and then accept it. I've accepted this and I am ready to get this going. So now what we've done is once you've clicked that, John, we have moved the requested estimate out of the estimate section and into the jobs section. Real quick with your mouse, I want you to move your mouse over there above that jobs drop down so you can see all the categories we have there. Right there. Yep. And you see here we have unsubmitted, in estimating, waiting for price approval, pending, in progress, waiting for payment, completed. Today, to kind of, since we kind of wrapped up our estimate there, I want to work on pending. We'll discuss in our next meeting the other settings there, but today I want to focus on pending because pending is the most popular one, right? Or I shouldn't say, but it's just the one most things are going to be going through. Okay. So as you can see here with my order, it's ready to go. It is. Here we've got the job number, the customer, the job name, product name, the selling price, the date of something. So everything here, except for the due date and the date, are available. Now I want you to take your mouse and I want you to scroll all the way over to the workflow button, but next to it there's a page button, like a teal, blue green color, right there. Yep, and click that for me. And what's going to happen here, John, is we are going to now get a job ticket. So you can actually open that job ticket for me right there, that Odyssey PDF downloaded. It's over here yeah, there you go. And as you can see here, it's a job ticket. Internal job ticket for the team. You can print that out. It's got the notes on it. It's got everything there. I do know long-term goals for this ticket. We're also going to make sure we have the paper calculator info on there, like even maybe like a picture or something. So anybody cutting will know how many cuts we're going to do in case they need any additional, like a diagram or something. So that'll be there. But yeah, so you can see here, we got everything kind of going with the ticket. So any questions? Well, let me ask you this, John. How does that look to you? How does that feel? It looks good?
That looks good.
Okay, just want to make sure. All right, so yeah, you can actually close this and we can go back to the pending jobs.
Okay, so if I close it here.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So now let's talk about this job. So you got the job ticket, you know what to do. But how do we tell Odyssey to start the job or to work the job or kind of give us that information? So if you take your mouse and you click the workflow next to the job ticket you just clicked on. Hmm.
Start job.
Well, yeah, just yeah, we can, but just a couple things I want to show you before we do start the job is that once it's in pending, you see right next to that start job, you do have invoice job. Click on that, you'll see there's two
Uh-huh.
options you have there. So you do have a job, you have the ability to invoice before you start the job, or you have ability to invoice and then complete the whole job right now without doing the start job process and moving through the processes there. So we give you
Okay.
two options there in case it's a hurry. If there's anything kind of going on, you need to get it going or whatever. Or someone says I want to pay you up front. Maybe it's a large order and you want to get payment up front, right? You can go ahead and invoice and then leave the job status where it's at. Another thing I want to mention to you on this screen as well before we start the job is you do notice down here we have a set the due date with a pencil. Remember in the previous screen of pending jobs we had due date undefined.
Okay.
You can set a due date there. It's up to you if if that's kind of normally what you do there. You can just throw it in right. Yep, put a note in, and
Is
then
there a way to do an auto due date, like 4 days or 5 days or anything like that?
not that I know of currently, John, but I'll put a request in for it and see what the status of that is. I sure will. Yes, sir. Other thing I want to mention here, if you notice above the start job invoice job, you've got a red light bulb telling you we hadn't started it, right? But next to that, you have a chat feature where you can chat internally with your team, or you can send chats that go into a form of email to your clients. You have any notes you want to add to it there? The files, any files attached, anything you need to look at, anything you need attached, right
So
there.
on
Yep.
the files, I can actually add the PDF file.
Well, yeah, what you can do is you can actually see it. You can actually go and take a look at it. Now you wanna make sure it's uploaded on the website, but yeah, you can definitely take a look at it here. You sure can. Yep.
My question is so I have all the customers' files,
Hmm.
in a file.
Yes, sir.
Can I attach their final approved job to the job ticket, and so it's always there?
Oh, like the actual file there? No, like so if you click on that right there, it would show you the file if I uploaded it or if your team member uploaded it in a guided thing with the client, it would show the file there. But uploading it here, I'll ask about that, John. Currently, no, but I'll find out for you. Because
Okay.
right now we would do it in the workflow on the website.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And then of course job ticket in case you need to print the job ticket again. So that's all there. And then if we look at this now, we can say, okay, well, let's start the job. Before we start the job, John, let's scroll down just to. I know you and I double check this, but if you scroll down, it's got all the information there in case you want to double check everything. Just make sure everything looks right. Just eyeball it. I like that, especially since we just made this path and we haven't put a lot of orders through it. Eventually you won't need to because you'll know the path and so many orders will go through it. It'll be fine. But just take a look at it. So it's all there. So yeah. So let's click start job now. Right there, the big green button. All right. So now what we've got here is we have the all processes are now broken out to where we can start the process. So if you actually say, okay, we're gonna start the digital printing process, you can actually hit start process here, and then you and your guys can go work the press. So hit start for me. I'll show you what I mean here. Yes, that little start process button that's right underneath the digital printing. Yep. Yeah, scroll it for me. Yeah, see it right there. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. All right. So now, so what's going on now is Odyssey knows that this process is ongoing. Okay. So it can be for a while now, or you can go ahead and complete process. It will time it, obviously, but you obviously have a time the Odyssey projected as well. I would recommend, people ask, well, Chris, what if there's a big discrepancy there? Well, we told Odyssey what the time is. The time is what the time is. If it's a couple minutes off, well, then obviously, it takes a couple minutes to walk over and press stop or whatever. But if it's like an hour off, then maybe we can go back and circle back around with the team and see if there's something we can do to, just kind of make that part of the flow there. Any questions on that, John? I think I lost you. Can you hear me, John? Hey, John, can you hear me? Hey. Hey, John, if you can hear me, do you mind jumping off and then jumping back into the meeting? Yeah, just maybe just hang up with the hang up tool there. There you go. I can hear you, John.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I was sitting there talking and it got real quiet, and I was like, uh-oh. So I mean, I guess I'm all the way on the East Coast, you're all the way on the West Coast, and we're able to talk to each other. I guess sometimes stuff like that happens. So
Yeah.
yeah. So but yeah, what I was saying there though is that if there is any discrepancy there, we can internally with among Copy Express, be like what's if you're like, hey, my report's showing 3 hours to complete that process, and it says Odyssey says it's 12 minutes. Are you clicking the stop button there? And the reason why we want to click the stop button, and I'm gonna show you here in a second, is hit the complete process for me and watch this. If there's any waste, anything that happens during the this process, it gives you an opportunity to put something in here. So, for example, if we have a 200 quantity, but maybe 20 of them got messed up with the some sort of spoilage, right? We could put 220 in there. Your cost will absorb that, but the price will still stay the same for the buyer. And then that way
Okay.
you can track any additional costs that may unfortunately rear their ugly head. So any
Okay.
spoilage will you put there. So yeah, and then also keep in mind that it will log the employee who does it. So we'll get more in the CRA. I mean the employee section of it. So yeah, so you can hit close now, and then the same thing with the trim press to finish size right there. You can start that process right there on the next card. Yep. And just like before, you've got the ability. If you look right there, you can start chatting. You got the chat bubble underneath the complete process in case you want to alert anybody internally to something like, hey, the guillotine cutter over here's I got a problem with it. I need 20 more minutes on something or something. You can just communicate with each other. I found out that some print shops don't like that chat feature because they scream at each other. If you guys scream at each other and say, hey, the cutter's down, well, you can still use that. That works as well. So then hit complete process for me. And then once again, if there's any kind of waste or anything like that, this is going to be if you have to do any kind of additional cuts, we would put that here. So you can see
Okay.
the final quantity is 6 cuts, but if you had to do another cut or something, you can put that in there. And then hit close when you're ready. And then finally, we have the folding. And this is the one I found out that there may be some sort of make ready where you may run a couple through there, some paper through there to make sure the folding's right. So here we would put that too if there's, when we complete the process.
Okay.
Yep. So just hit start process for me. Yep. And then when you complete it, it'll give you the option here. Two things. One is that this is our last process. It'll give you the opportunity to email the customer. So, and then the second will be to do any kind of spoilage or anything like that, or make readies. So you can hit complete. Yep. And so you can email me if you want, and if not, you've got the ability here to any kind of stuff there that you want to put.
Okay. So if I ended up with 10% extra and wanted to charge the customer, it doesn't automatically change it, or there's not a button there.
Right. No. If you want to change this price, I'll close this. I'll show you where we can do it. If you want to if you feel like, oh, I got to update the price for the client or the buyer there, if you scroll up.
Sometimes we'll run, 440, and then we bill them for whatever we end up with at the folding.
Okay. Okay.
And
So
so,
yeah, so what we can do then is obviously we got a couple options. Now, if you scroll up a little bit, you see we can still have time to edit that selling price right there. It's got the blue pencil next to it. right above change view.
Okay, but there's no way to update, change this
Oh,
one.
the quantity. Yeah, so we could. Yeah, if we would have went back to go down to our digital printing card right there. When we started that process, that's where we can update the quantity there.
Yeah,
And then
but then it's
Mhm.
what I end up with at the folder. So I'll print 50 extra, and then I might end up with 25 extra that I can bill a customer.
Okay, okay. Then with that, then what we would do is if you put 50 extra in here during this process, we would put the 50 extra. And let me show you how we can do that. We actually have another job that I put in that I can show you that real quick. So if you scroll up for
Yeah,
me.
but go ahead and put in a request on that
Okay.
because
Okay.
there should be something right there to where if I end up with overs, I can just click a button, bill a customer or not, and then I put down how many.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Now, I also will say this, and I'm not going to show you this today, John, but we also have the ability to and it may not even be, Mr. Chris, that's not related, but just I'm thinking about it. We can add line items and make any kind of edits to invoices once we get to that section too. I'll show you that. So any kind of extra
Yeah.
stuff we want to throw in there for the invoicing as well. So yeah, I'll make a request on that. But yeah, for a little button there.
But
Yep.
anytime like I have finishing, like if I'm doing die cutting or if I'm doing folding, we always run overs, even sometimes scoring and perfing. We run
Yep.
overs, and
Yep.
then if
Yep.
we end
Scoring.
up
Yep.
with, you know, industry standard is I can bill them for up to 10% without
Okay.
any problem.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Then what I'll do then is I'll bring them to the team and see what we can do of getting that there before we go live, John.
Okay.
Yep. 10-4. I got you. So yeah, I'll put that in the after this meeting. So okay. Uh,
And then sometimes I'll have the option where I have 220 and I don't bill a customer because they're a good customer and I just want them to have the extras.
okay. Yeah. It gives you a little bit of freedom for that customer service element too. I got you.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. All right. Understand. All right. Well, with then that being said, that's a loud and clear. I got you. I'll put that in and I'll update you ASAP on the status of that.
Okay.
Now, if we scroll up, the last couple things we got here now is that if you notice this job is done, so we can invoice the job from here. I don't want to because I want to show you how to do some invoices separately, but you can.
Okay.
And also, if you go up to where it says jobs, up at the very top of the nav tab, this job is now in the completed job. It will no longer be in the pending job. Remember, we had 44 in pending. Now we have, and there I am right there, 36-1, Chris Wall 200. Yep. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there I am. Yep. Now, a couple things from this is, of course, obviously you can print the job ticket out again, and look at the notes. But you also have, you'll notice that next to there's a green box with a dollar sign, right there. Yep. This little accounting piece now shows up on your completed jobs through Odyssey. And when you click on that, it'll give you a rundown of what we did. And this will also come into play to that button you just requested, because we can show that stuff here as well. Okay. All right. Can you hear me, John? Goodness. All right. I think I lost you again. But real quick, as you can see, if you can hear me, you can see there that it shows us each one of the line items there. And if we do put more paper, if we do put more items on there, that'd be representative as well. And John, I lost you again. Well, with that being said, John, I think it's going to require you and I both jumping off and jumping back in to get the volume back. But I do want to pause here and then ask you any questions on it. So I'm going to jump out and I'm going to jump back in real quick, and then you may need to as well. And I apologize for that, John. Hey, John, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the sharing's overwhelming, but that was where I was coming to a stopping point anyway. So I guess it quit at a pretty good time. But with that being said, sir, how's that feeling? Any questions? Any concerns?
Nope,
Any
not at all.
Awesome, awesome. All righty. Well, as you can see now, John, we're kind of starting to take shape a little bit, right? We've plugged in resources and processes. We've done workflows. Now we're seeing how the estimates kind of flowing into it into pending jobs. So with that being said, is it starting to, from a big picture, starting to all kind of take shape of how it's going to work?
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, then our next meeting is we're going to wrap up our jobs and then we're going to move into invoicing.
Okay.
And talk about invoicing. So with that being said, John, is there anything outside of what we're doing in Odyssey, or maybe something we haven't covered in Odyssey? Do you have any questions about, or you need me to take back to my team?
I'm just curious how they're coming with importing of the
The
printer's
printer's
plan
plan.
information.
Well, you know what? If you stand by real quick, I may be able to pull up some documentation on that real quick, John. Just give
Okay.
me 1 second here, sir, and I might be able to find out what's going on. Um, I know it's high priority for Kathy, so I know she's been working on that. Importing printer's plan. Goodness, I got a lot of notes. Okay. So I don't know if you know Dave, the president. He has the database, and him and the dev team are working on it now.
Okay.
So
Sounds good.
so the boss has it now. So you're in good hands with that, John. And then our next meeting, if I'm not mistaken, let me just pull up. You and I were talking about maybe meeting Friday, because of the holiday. We had to cancel. Is that something
Yeah,
you still would like to do?
it's gonna end up being a short day for me
I
tomorrow
understand.
too. So let's just do the Monday again if we can. And
Yeah. Okay. And that'll give us time to. I can get some information on more on printer's plan, and I can also give you an update on that button we just talked about, and maybe see if there's any kind of like how long that may take or something like that. Give you some information.
okay.
All right, John. Well, I appreciate your time, sir, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. If you think of anything between now and our next meeting, just send me an email, give me a call. I'll be glad to help you, sir.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, John.
Bye.
Bye bye.